is Myra Elaine on the Buying Space channel. Today I'm reading from the Torah, from the book of Genesis. And the Torah is the first 5 books of the Bible: Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. And I said that last one very wrong. I'm not going to try to correct myself because it would become a source of humor for people if I tried to correct that last book. I haven't been saying it right for a couple of years now. I don't know what the issue is, but I have lost the ability to say that. So I need to go on the net and Google it and listen to it over and over and over and over before I attempt it again. But we are in chapter 20. We have been through the loss of Sodom and Gomorrah and all its people, except for Lot and his 2 daughters. No one else survived. And Abraham journeyed from there towards the land of the south, and dwelt between Kadesh and Sur, and sojourned in Gerar. And Abraham said of Sarah his wife, "She is my sister." And Amalek, the king of Gerar, sent and took Sarah. But God came to Amalek in a dream by night, and said to him, "Behold, thou shalt die because of the woman whom thou hast taken, for she is a man's wife." But Amalek had not come near to her, and he said, "Lord, wilt thou slay even a righteous nation?" Said he not unto me, "She is my sister"? And she even to herself said, "He is my brother"? In the integrity of my heart and the innocency of my hands have I done this? And God said unto him in the dream, "Yes, I also well know that thou hast done this in the integrity of thy heart. Therefore did I also withhold thee from sinning against me. For this cause I suffer thee not to touch her. And now restore the man's wife, for he is a prophet, and he will pray for thee, that thou mightest live. And if thou restore her not, know thou that thou shalt surely die, though all that are thine." So God's telling him that even though he was innocent, he was lied to, that he'll suffer the consequences. Now, I'm going to give a modern day example of something I actually lived through. This happened a long time ago. And there won't be any legal consequences for me, although I don't think there would be anyway. But there might have been. I bought someone a motorcycle jack. I forget whether, I think it was their birthday. Might have been some holiday. But anyway, the person that I bought the jack for, I was around weekly, if not 3 or 4 times a week did I see this person. And so I was at their place a lot. And he told me one day, he said, a motorcycle jack was stolen, and my trailer and a bunch of other stuff he told me was stolen. So I rushed right over, and I saw this stuff was gone. Well, I said, "Well, we need to file a police report." He's like, "No, don't file a police report, And it didn't dawn on me in the least he was lying. I mean, what actually had happened, I found out after the fact that he sold the stuff, and he just didn't want to tell me he sold the stuff, especially since I had just bought him that jack. So, being the good Dudley do-right that I am, I called the police. And I innocently filed the police report. And police asked me, well, why isn't he calling? And I said, well, he's elderly. And, I told him a bunch of other stuff why I would do it. Like have a bachelor's degree in criminal justice. Of course, I couldn't tell that I was being lied to. So I filed a police report. Well, in actuality, that police report was a false police report. But I didn't know it. Now, if the police would actually have come and investigated like they used to do, it would have, even back then, they were not investigating things. If they'd have come and investigated and found out that he had indeed sold the stuff to a neighbor, they would have known it was a false police report. Of course, they would have known that I was innocent in all of it, that he had lied to me, because he just wasn't man enough to tell me I sold the stuff that, the gift that you got me, and all this other stuff, and, that, he just lied to me. So anyway, but nothing ever came of it because the police never investigated it. He never filed an insurance claim, which, I should have asked him about that, but it did not come to light until months later that he sold it to a neighbor. So, anyway, but poor Amalek here, not only, adultery, especially, well, not especially, adultery is adultery. Adultery is one of the 10 Commandments. And here Amalek is facing destruction. And he's a king. So if he's destroyed, a good deal of his nation suffers. And kings weren't always good. Amalek was a decent king. I mean, I'm sure he killed people. But, maybe he did with a little wisdom. You can tell from the passage how he's talking to God and answering to God in his dream that he wants to do the right thing. He wants to be an honorable man. He wants to follow God. But he did make life and death decisions under his authority of being king. But what about Abraham? Here, Abraham is a prophet of God and lying to Amalek. Don't ever lie. Don't ever tell half-truths. And be careful who you trust that's telling you things. Because here, Amalek was completely innocent. He hadn't touched her yet, thank God, or he would have been destroyed, even not knowing. So in our daily business, we have to discern who we should trust and who we shouldn't. And sometimes you get blinded by things like, oh, that's my mother, that's my father, that's my brother, that's my sister, that's my cousin. Surely they wouldn't lie to me or deceive me. But yes, people do that, no matter who they are, no matter what their relationship is with you. And it's more common than it's ever been. And so you have to be really careful who you trust. And sometimes you can't discern, because people become so good at telling half-truths, and then they say, oh, it's not a lie. If it's a half-truth, it's half a lie. And if it's a half a lie, it's a whole lie. Don't deceive people. It's a lie. If I say, did you mow the lawn on Wednesday? And the person says no, I expect that they haven't mowed the lawn. But they mowed it on Tuesday. But because I said Wednesday, they said no. That's deceiving. They know that I want to know if the lawn's been mowed or not. And if they've mowed the lawn, they should say, yeah, I mowed the lawn, but it was Tuesday instead of Wednesday. Someone that will answer you that way and say no due to a technicality is either an attorney or they're living in a morality that doesn't include being honest. I'm brutally honest with people. If I have a problem with you, you know it. Now, when I come on YouTube and I have a problem with somebody, I don't say names, but the person that has wronged me knows that they've wronged me and what's wrong with it. If they watch the video, or if I make a video, I don't always make a video when I have an issue with somebody on YouTube. Or my channel would be nothing but that. So, poor Amalek, he trusted Abraham. And Abraham looked like a straight arrow. He had the possessions, the air about him, the history, the possessions, the clothes, everything that indicated to Amalek that he was a leader among his people. And he lied to him. So you can't even trust a lot of things that are presented in people. You know, we live in a community and, you know, maybe a large channel that a lot of people like. That doesn't mean that they won't lie or deceive other people. And you think, wow, they did that to save $10. They did that just to get, they threw somebody under the bus just to get more views. You know, that's a horrible thing to do to another human being. Just flat out lie or twist the truth to make drama. I turn it off. As soon as anything like that starts, I leave the room. And that way, if people knew that their views dropped when they were creating drama instead of increasing, if we all did the moral thing and just left when the lies start, or the backstabbing. Because the thing is, if somebody else starts talking about another person, you should be clued into that point that they will talk about you. But anyway, back to the scriptures. I'm going to go ahead and stop there because that is a very powerful point. Amalek would still suffer consequences, even though he was innocent and did not know the truth. It was still adultery, whether he knew it or not. Have a wonderful and blessed day, everyone.